These are pretty nice couches. In collaboration with this other record label, Uncommon Music and Backwoodz, the label that I have, we used to collaborate on this winter show, and this cat, Uncommon NASA, sent me links, and he was like, I like this artist, we should book him. And I don't even know if I checked, I don't think I even checked it out. I think I was like, fine. It was, you know, there were so many things to worry about, and I was like, seems cool. During his set, I was listening, I'd already performed, and I was like, this is really, really good. This is really dope, really different. And we spoke briefly afterwards, and I was like, oh, you should give me your contact information. And I went home that night, and I put on the video.
Automatic writing?
For automatic writing. Yeah, a video he had done with his cat, Ali. And I was like, this song is the shit. I still remember it. Space Fits on Flatbush, Bringing Me Back Home. Yeah. Rewind the clock and begin again. Yeah. Was that it?
First and the last, is the word coming back. Accustomed to the culture of cotton, and then there was crack.
Those are broad phrases. I don't know. I mean, I guess my father was a Marxist revolutionary, but that just makes, in my mind, I don't want anyone to think that he was like shooting an assault rifle in Mozambique. Although that would have been cool. And when I was a little boy, when we got there, that's what I hoped had been happening. But instead, he wrote a great many theses and agitated politically. And my mother is a very smart woman from Jamaica who's a professor and a writer, a feminist writer, member of the Jane Austen Society. Does that matter? I'm Jamaican, American, and Zimbabwean, but I'm not fully any of those things in a way. And I think the experience of always, from a very young age, being an insider who's also an outsider, if you think about it, is very much present in all of my music.
Madmen and cowards, mad shatter, no flowers.
Well, sometimes I don't want to go too hard on it. You have to write something.
Right.
You know? And not everybody has a ton of time and editors, and sometimes you read something and you're like, that's kind of repetitive of the way somebody else opened an article, but it's like...
I mean, I've got those labels specifically attached to me. What's been deemed as like paranoid, or it happened. Like, we're living in what I said was going to be.
Well, I rap on the record.
Was I really paranoid, or was I don't know, whatever you want to call it?
I rap on it, so that's like 50% of it is pessimism right there. If you're on its on its surface, you know, at least on its surface, I think. I actually think that people miss the opportunity to leave certain things as like accepted knowledge. Hey, X part of the backstory maybe doesn't need to be reiterated for the 10th time.
Stop calling my house a broke down pile.
You called it that.
Right, and I guess so, you know, I said it, and then everyone kind of ran with it.
Land raiders coming malice, cut rate shell of a broke down palace.
Yeah, it's a lot of dissonance, and I'm still trying to work out myself. But as of right now, like, that's where it's at. I want to perform my music. I want people to listen to what I have to say. And unfortunately, like, that's where it's at. You know what I mean? Until somebody wants to book some spots in East New York and have folks come out, you know, we'll see.
Having been, especially stayed in one neighborhood for a really long time, I realized how many waves of gentrification happen, and how many... It's weird because at a certain point you'll be like listening to people who were gentrifiers complain about their own gentrification. I think the interesting thing about living in a city, and this has nothing to do with gentrification, displacement, these are real issues. The interesting thing about living in a city is that everything you do is going to be plowed under. And you're standing on top of things that were plowed under. Like, there have been so many versions of the place where you're standing right now. And so on the one hand, there's this sense of impermanence that is inherent to a city. A city's alive, it's vibrant, you know, and that doesn't mean that, like, what's old should be gone, or, you know, you want to live in, like, Singapore. But there is something to a city where a city should never be, like, riding on the backs of its, like, old people. Yeah, I mean, then you're dead. I don't know. It's all very interesting, and not very interesting at all, so there you go.
It's all very interesting, but not very interesting at all.
Were we out before we knew of Armie Hammer?
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
He
absolutely
did
were.
not exist.
Yeah.
I mean, he existed. He's a person, and I'm sure he's doing great. And he said almost something nice about us, and I don't know anything about him to say something bad. So, Armand Hammer has also been around for my whole life, and has never done me wrong. So this is tough. Maybe I'm gonna go with Armand Hammer, the brand. I have more personal experience with them, and if they were to disappear, it might prove to be more troublesome for my personal life.
He was sorry to bother you.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he's good.
Sorry.
I didn't see that yet.
Yeah, still.
Shout out to Boots, though. The
The
coup was a big influence for me that I don't say enough about.
House made of Legos, throw all the stones you want.
I haven't listened to it yet. I've been meaning to, and I didn't even get a chance on the way up here, but I think on the way back.
I have listened to it a couple times. I need to. I got it just a few days ago, and since then we've had back-to-back shows. You know, I don't come home from doing a show and be like, "Now let me listen to rap." You know what I mean? At 2 a.m. But an interesting artist in that he has 4 solo projects now, and each of them are significantly different from each other. Although his style of rapping and seemingly the aesthetic of what beats he likes and stuff has not drastically. It does change, but not like crazily. But the projects are really different.
I really like how he works with smaller artists, more up-and-coming artists. He works on songs with Denmark Vesey, who you guys have worked with, right?
Yeah, I do think it's cool. I mean, he's reached out to a lot of people. And I think that there's a very definite Mock Hammy influence and vibe in terms of a dude who's like carved a really unique and interesting lane and is really creative. I know that Earl fucks with his music, and I could tell. But that's the thing that I got, and I think that that's true. It is cool. And to follow up on that, not being afraid to say, hey, I think this artist is dope. Or, hey, let me do something with this person in a situation where you didn't need to do that. You could have just cribbed some of the stuff they're doing for your own little style and then bounced out with it or whatever. I do think that that's really cool.
Black crow, perch upon chimney pipe, dark is your worst night. Heroin dealers crane their necks against the absence of light.